Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Hey, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Yes, them. And if you want to join in and be part of the team, the fourth member in a way, then you can text us on 81215 or you can follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute.
We've actually already had an email just arrived now. I have a French exam in an hour and I'm currently stressing about all the information to remember and remembering it all in French. So could you please play Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, to keep me calm? Couple of things. We don't really do requests.
Also, who does exams on a Saturday?
That was my next point. Who does an exam?
Also, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. Extraordinary request.
I don't know if that'll calm anyone down.
No, they should have asked for some Serge Gainsbourg.
Yeah, that'd have been
Get them
nice.
into-
Or Charlotte, I suppose.
Or Charlotte. Although she tends to sing in English, doesn't she, Charlotte?
Still nice and calming, isn't it?
Also, didn't she expose herself completely naked to Pete Doherty in something recently?
Did she?
Film or something.
Oh, yes, in a film. It was arty, though.
Oh, God, it was arty.
Well,
No one's denying that.
I mean, I haven't seen Skyfall yet, so the chances of me having seen that are even smaller, aren't they?
You haven't seen Skyfall. I'm going to start leaking spoiler alerts into our conversation.
So behind, you haven't seen Live and Let Die. That's how behind you are.
Very behind the curve on the old cinema.
The Ken Dodd surprise appearance. I had no... I mean, who would have cast him as a Bond villain? But he was actually really...
Terrifying.
Yeah?
Yeah, I loved it. Now, I'm going to tell you something which you might think is made up, but I swear on all that is sacred, this is absolutely true.
Okay.
I was in a car the other day, a mini cab, and the driver said to me, I like you very much.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Here we go.
Were you in the front seat?
No, I was on his lap. No, he was in the back seat with me. Now, he said, I like you very much. He said, ever since I came to this country from, I think it was Egypt somewhere. He said, ever since I came to this country, he said, I said that because it makes it less racist than if he was an Indian
I got the
or a
accent,
Pakistani.
but it's fine.
You know, there's a whole league table.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to say anything bad about him, but anyway, I think I'm the one who suffers in this anecdote.
He liked you very much.
Yeah, and he said, when I first came to this country, I watched you all the time, and I thought, that's lovely. And he said a lot of the programmes now, they're not good. He said, I go to work and I come home, for a laugh, and there are no laughs. He said. Oh. I thought, well, I'm still on. But I thought he means apart from me, is what he means.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was sort of basking in this praise. And then he said to me, do you ever see the lady who played Betty? And in a weird string of mistakes, he'd read Frank Skinner on his chitty, taken that as Frank Spencer, which is one mistake. Assume Frank Spencer was the name of the person in the show and not in the show, and thought it was me.
You were wearing a beret and a raincoat, tightly belted.
Yeah, I know, but... so anyway, I texted Michelle Detrice and said, guess what? No, but then he went on about it. He said, because, nowadays, the modern comedians, they're rubbish. And I was thinking, oh, God.
No.
And I couldn't tell him, obviously.
He didn't mention Frank Skinner, did he?
No, he didn't. If he'd have meant... I assumed he'd never heard of me. But I was almost tempted to start going, to try to help him out a bit, But
you should have said to him, you've done a bit of a whoopsie here.
Yourself into a little bit of trouble.
You're in a bit of trouble.
And then about 4 days later, I went into I parked somewhere and realised that the parking was on till 10 o'clock at night rather than 6.
Oh, I hate that.
So I thought, I got no change. So I went into a shop. I always buy a pint of milk when I need change.
Right.
So I think, you'll drink milk. It won't be wasted, milk.
No.
And in the boot of the car nowadays, it's like a small fridge. So I went in the shop, and I noticed that obviously I paid cash to get change, but the woman had got one of those pin machines, chip and pins.
Oh, yeah.
Still big, aren't they?
Oh, they're very big.
They're still...
They're like a 1980s calculator.
We'll look back at those chip and pins and say, do you remember when chip and pins were, before they became vapour?
Yeah.
And then with those big chunky things. Anyway, hers was pink, shocking pink. She was a woman, I'd say, in her late 40s, early 50s. And I said, well, you've got a very feminine machine. And she looked at me, honestly, in absolute...
An odd thing to say, Frank.
Well, I just meant that she had a... But I don't know what she thought I was talking about, but she looked genuinely affronted. And I couldn't see any way out of it.
What was under the counter?
I should have said, "Ooh, Betty," and laid it on his door. Oh, man, it was terrible. I mean, what could I have meant? Oh, you've got a very
If you
feminine machine.
would like to take a stab at what Frank could have meant, text in on 8 12
But,
15.
I don't have X-ray vision, for goodness sake.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I had the window cleaners the other day, and our window cleaners, they're not like your old traditional who start at the ground and work their way up on a ladder. They start at the roof and come down on a cable.
Is that because you live in a skyscraper, is that?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a skyscraper.
I just thought it was a nice retro term.
It's a sky fondler.
Oh, okay.
Is what it is. Because they've had the top smoothed.
That's quite a job doing your windows, though, that great height.
Yeah, what kind of Christmas tip do they get?
From me, nothing. Anyway, the thing is that they just dangle there doing their cleaning, and I get about my business, and that's the deal. One never acknowledges them.
Right.
Because otherwise, once you've said hello, they're there for, what do you do then?
Yeah.
We should say 2/3 of your apartment is window, virtually.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So anyway, I was aware of him out the corner of my eye, and then he... Frank! And the double thumbs up.
No.
So I thought, what you've done...
You started that, though, didn't you? You started that move, the double thumbs up.
Oh, no, but I don't know if I started it, but I certainly popularised it in the 90s. But he... I thought what you've done, you've broken the fourth wall, the classic theatre rule.
Yes.
And then I was still making my breakfast and stuff, and he was hanging there. And I knew he was there, and I knew it was like being on Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
but in sort of live, the live tour of Big Brother.
Without the fee.
Without the fee, yeah, just the humiliation and the sense of being... I could feel him boring holes in my back with his probing eyes. And it was... I couldn't... when you're driving, you realise there's a police car behind you and you can't drive properly. I felt that the sandwich I made was slipshod.
You lost your mojo, Frank.
You know, the squares weren't quite aligned of the two slices of bread.
Oh, no.
And they were a bit off kilter.
Did you put all the ingredients that you'd planned to put in there, or did the pressure get to you?
My mind was a whirl.
And suddenly you were going, there's just lettuce in here.
In the end, I just said, I want to eat this. And I just want to legitimise leaving the room. And when you're mid-sandwich, you can't just storm out the room. So I had to sit and eat the sandwich. And I did. I never looked at him again, but I knew he was looking at me. I couldn't swallow. I could like that. Every move, the self-consciousness was crippling me. And for what?
Frank, can we move over to my feminine machine temporarily? You're not alone.
Yeah.
As I believe the late Michael Jackson once sung.
Yeah.
Because I had a bit of an embarrassing moment this week. Well, are you familiar with the option called FaceTime on an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, so we should just explain that's sort of like a video conversation that you can have.
It's very sci-fi. It means you can talk. I always thought for every phone would be like it by this stage. When I used to watch Tomorrow's World as a child, if you'd have said to me you'll be doing a radio show in 2013, I would imagine myself arriving by hovercar. It's not the case. But yeah, so that I thought that video...
Not by a man who thinks you're Frank Spencer.
Exactly. So
FaceTime, I believe...
I've never done it.
Well, no, I haven't, and I'll tell you what, Frank, apparently it's used mainly by couples for intimate moments.
Oh, you are...
No.
Having a laugh.
No. I don't know, I couldn't put a figure on it, but I'm going to go 88%.
You're kidding
of people that use it for intimate moments.
Oh, you see, now I don't want to use it.
Yeah. Me neither. However...
The fact that it's called FaceTime.
I went to ring Daisy, the producer, this week, and was juggling my phone betwixt ear and shoulder in a sort of urban multitasking way.
You can actually do that. I've never managed to do that ever.
Well, I didn't pull it off very successfully.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because I realised instead of calling Daisy, I was requesting a FaceTime moment with Lee Mack, I realised.
What?
Yeah. I suddenly realised, I went, no! So he would have heard me request it, and then I just pressed stop. So Lee Mack has a requested FaceTime missed call from me on his phone.
And has he got back to you?
No, which is a bit mortificado.
I imagine he's got queuing on his FaceTime.
I'd like to apologise Tiger Woods style to Lee Mack.
Yeah.
I feel very ashamed of that.
So you've never FaceTimed, but you've got. You and I could FaceTime.
Oh God!
No, I mean, let's drag it back into respectable society. FaceTime. Shall we do it? I've never done it.
Let's do it. Why not?
I like the idea of being able to see someone you're speaking to.
You're in the same room. Now,
It's not as
like
exciting,
this minute.
though, is it? I meant with the aid of technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. I keep persuading my girlfriend to get an iPhone.
Oh no.
No, I mean, so we can have nice face-to-face conversations when I'm away. And she said the trouble is with iPhones, you get mocked for them. Well, I mean, that's not still true, is it?
I haven't been since I had one, no.
No, but you're a big man with a beard.
I can sound like Brian Blessed.
Yeah, well, this is a hint. There's a Brian Blessed in embryo form. If you can imagine that. I've got a picture somewhere of Brian Blessed in embryo form. But obviously I can't put that on the website for legal reasons. Can you tell I can't find the button? You could if you was on FaceTime.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So we were talking about embarrassing stories, and I don't.
We were talking about
I would have loved to have joined in, but I don't have one because this week, like every other week in my life, I have sailed effortlessly through.
Oh.
It's been an absolute doddle. It's an absolute breeze for me.
Good.
So instead, we should discuss Monopoly. You know the board game Monopoly?
Yeah.
You know the little
the
pieces?
asset acquiring and money-based game, Alan?
Yeah, yes. Oh, that's
Thought you'd
my
be a
little
fan of that.
reputation, isn't it?
Yes.
It's my little reputation.
Loves Monopoly.
From Hasbro?
Is it Hasbro?
I have often thought it seems wrong to me that only one company is allowed to make Monopoly.
Oh, yeah? They should speak to the Monopolies and Mergers Commission,
they
shouldn't
should.
they, about that?
Something
I
wrong.
love it when you two do your material.
It's good, that. It's clever.
So,
They're discussing the possibility of changing one of the pieces, and they're asking people which one would they like to update. But I had forgotten what pieces were in there.
Well, I can remember Dog Boot Thimble Car.
Dog boot.
Can I just say,
thimble,
I'd
car.
like-
You
I
want a
can
comma
guess.
after all of those, really?
Yeah.
you know when you play it, you tend to have your favourite piece, don't you? You're loyal to. I can guess what you two are.
Can you?
I think Frank would go for... They have a little boot, which is a bit Depression era,
Yeah.
Yes.
and quite man of the people. And I think that would fit in with Frank's persona.
Right.
I've used the boot before now.
Oh, I knew you would have, Frank. But Angela's Ashes, that boot. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's a bit early Chaplin. But carry on. I've used the thimble as well.
Have you, Frank?
I used the thimble.
Bit of a feminine machine.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Thimble, I find.
One of my
You've got a
favourites.
very feminine machine.
Have you
there,
heard of
haven't you?
Oh. Have you heard of a Scottish... Have you heard of a Scottish finger time they have on thimbles, apparently?
Oh.
So...
Oh, I think I get it.
Have you heard of Chick Murray?
Yes.
The Scottish comic. He tells a story about he stayed in digs, you know, and the landlady was very, very skimpy. He only got one half slice of toast in the morning and stuff for breakfast. So one morning, like day 4 of staying there, he asked if he could have honey the next day. And she was a bit grumpy about it, but when he got up the next morning, there was honey on the table, but it was in her thimble. That's how small. And he said to her, I see you keep a bee. So fabulous. So the thimble always represents that fabulous story. to me. But you are right. I do go for the boot
I knew
generally.
you'd be boot. You see, I'd see Al. They used to have a sack of money, but I think they phased that out.
That'll be
Have
Al.
phased that.
That'll be Al.
Yeah.
Or the Scotty dog, maybe. He's a dog. Can you guess what
Wrong.
I'd go for? I think mine's really obvious.
Is yours
I think ruling classes.
sports car?
No, I go for the top hat.
Oh, I
Of
like the top hat.
course.
It's a nice, it's a nice weight to it, isn't it?
I love it.
I did. There was an iron. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
My mum, when I was a kid, she had one of those metal irons.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the iron that she used. So if she had ironing to do, she'd put this metal iron on the cooker, on the gas ring, and heat it up till it was really, really red hot. And then iron with it. And also, she used it as a doorstop.
Did she?
And when my dad came back from the pub with a coconut, which he often did,
Did he?
yeah. I don't know why. He'd often return with a coconut. We lived in Barbados at the time. My mother was the cleaner for Ian Fleming at GoldenEye.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I tell you, I love the books and all that, and we always got the latest one at Christmas signed. But he was a tough taskmaster, I have to say. I'm not saying he hit her, but he shoved her about a bit. But, those were different times. There was the time my dad was going up the house and he said, he said, I'll give him 007, he said.
007.
Yeah. I don't know what he meant by it. I think he was good. And my mum said, "Oh no, we don't have to move out of the servants' quarters and that," so we didn't go. But that was the iron. What else we talking about? Monopoly.
So the Monopoly. So they're phasing one out. Now, odds are at the moment that it's going to be the wheelbarrow. Because people don't have much call to use a wheelbarrow. It's the least popular. I was forgotten there was
in a
one.
time of recession.
Yeah.
You don't use a wheelbarrow that often.
Why not? Surely it's the perfect time. Grow your own vegetables, get the allotment going, have a wheelbarrow.
Well, we'll come back to this.
Okay.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Monopoly.
Yeah, we were talking about the new Monopoly piece that's going to be introduced. They haven't decided what it's going to be yet.
See the modern iron. I have no
Oh.
faith in the modern iron. do you?
No.
No, I wouldn't. I'd have a dry cleaning stub. Because that's the modern iron, really,
Yeah.
to be honest.
That's a
But
good
they
idea.
do look like they're going to last.
No.
They ought to do a sort of a Victor Meldrew type sitcom starring an iron
Uh-huh.
called One Foot in the Skip, about the flimsy lifespan of the modern iron.
The built-in... What's it called?
Built-in obsolescence.
Built-in obsolescence.
Yeah, but
The modern
there's
world.
built-in and there's glaringly staring obsolescence in the face, the modern iron. Anyway,
I'd like to nominate an Ugg boot as well for a piece.
an Ugg boot?
Yes.
But you can't have that with the early Chaplin boot.
Well, you'd have to swap it. Chaplin goes. And Ronnie Wood Ugg comes in. This is the new, I'm afraid.
I don't know if you can have other footwear. That seems wrong to me.
Can you not?
I think maybe you're right about swap it for something the same but updated. Like get rid of the terrier and have one of those dangerous dogs, one of the savage dogs.
Yeah, but this is about people who are buying property, isn't it? You're talking people who are in council or rented accommodation.
God, Frank, you can't discriminate against them.
Well, you
They're
just
allowed
don't
to
get-
play Monopoly if you don't own your house.
You don't get many, Lord Banford and his killer dog, do you? You don't get that.
Dunno.
Not since I stopped hunting. It needs to be something that represents the sort of people that buy property, doesn't it, and speculate.
Does it? I just assumed
Lemon squeezer.
Lemon squeeze.
Squeezer.
Well, I've always seen that as the very height of sophistication. You know the things I mean? They're like a glass bowl and they've got like a pointy bit in the middle in your squeezer.
Yeah, well,
You
the
don't get-
Pyrexy thing as opposed to the metal
glass,
tall
glass.
Alessi thing.
I'm talking glass.
Oh.
I think instead of the wheel, but it needs to be a vehicle of some sort. I'm going to go minicab. I think minicab with the wooden beads on the front seat.
Not as sophisticated though as a lemon squeeze. Also, if you've had a lemon squeezer, you could use it, say for kumquats,
Yeah, that'd
with
be
the
good.
right size. And I don't know, but if you ever tried to purchase kumquat juice in a juice bar,
No.
well, even if they've got them, it's a long wait.
Frank, Gary Mack has texted in and he says, "Good morning, Alan, Emily, and Mr. Spencer."
And then does he say, "Stop bothering my brother with your FaceTime request"?
No, he has actually requested FaceTime with me, this guy.
Oh.
But let's put that in a box. I can't believe that Alan has still not seen Skyfall. It's now been nominated for 5 Oscars and 8 BAFTA awards. Get a move on, Alan.
I agree. You are missing a treat. It's very good.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Oh, man.
I just haven't got round to it.
Tears for souvenirs. I didn't see that coming, the Ken dot. It shocked me. Maybe the Eiffel Tower. Little pewter Eiffel Tower.
Oh, I like that, Frank.
And then you can
Parisienne.
do... You know that photo? We've all done it, surely, when you're in Paris. The photo of you standing with the Eiffel Tower on the palm of your hand. You stand in such a way. You can actually do it.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
You could do it. You could do it, like, for real. Are you with me? It's been an odd morning, or is it me? Is there blood on my ears?
We've heard from the outside world.
Okay, what's the weather like?
Yeah, it's fair to middling.
Oh, okay.
I think they said. Someone's asked, I'm not sure if I fully understand this question, did Frank's mum commute from Barbados to Jamaica to clean Ian Fleming's house in GoldenEye? Is that a Jamaica
They're
joke?
suggesting... No, I think they're suggesting that there's geographical inaccuracies.
It's one of those smart Alex who knows where Ian Fleming lived.
Your riff was an island out, is that what
we
they're
used
saying?
to...
Oh, God,
what
here we
used to
go.
happen is that Roderick, his manservant, used to come over with a rowing boat.
Roderick?
Yeah, you know Roderick. Big,
Rodders?
Yeah.
As they used to call him.
Big, handsome black
Careful.
man. And I think he played. He told me he'd played professional baseball in Philadelphia in his teenage years. But you know what it's like? They love a story over there. And he used to row my mum across with her, cleaning fluids.
Nice, yeah.
So that's that one sorted out. What else?
We've also had some suggestions about Monopoly. One of them was somebody saying their friend, the sculptor Paul Richardson, is making some giant sculptures for Monopoly in Waterford in Ireland. I've been to that airport.
Is it going to be...
That's not going to a place, just going to the airport, Alan.
True
just
enough,
FYI.
True enough. A huge battleship and policemen and other pieces to be put on a massive board game outside their offices.
I don't remember policemen.
It's Ireland.
No, but there was that creepy man in the
They have
jail,
to have
wasn't
policemen in every board game for security reasons.
Got to, yes.
Oh,
It's one of their things, isn't it?
There is a policeman. There's the man who says go to jail and points his finger at you.
Oh,
yeah, but
right.
he's not three-dimensional. This is a sculpture we're talking about, not fine art. So they're going to do like a giant one you can play, like you see those big giant chess sets.
They used to have that outside Huddersfield Library, the big chess, and then I think it scared the locals. They thought there was like a horse on the loose or something, and I think it's been put away. Although we'll probably get a
nice move.
It's been put out
a nice
put out to
move,
pasture.
very good.
I'll tell you something. Daisy, our producer, was saying that a little earlier. She's gone white in the face thinking, what was I saying earlier?
Yeah.
She's FaceTiming Lee.
Apparently she was listening to Jeff Lloyd, and he was saying that this is the weekend where most people give up on their New Year's resolutions.
Oh.
And I'll tell you something that's happened to me, is and this has never happened to me before, I've accidentally fallen into a New Year's resolution. I've done something every day this year, and it only just struck me yesterday. And that is, I've eaten lemon curd.
Oh.
On every day of 2013 so
Describe
far.
that as a New Year's resolution.
No, but it's an accident. It's in reverse. I'm thinking now I might as well make it a New Year's resolution.
Make it a year.
It's going a lot better than the herring pickling. So,
I like the idea that you have a fortnight's worth of lemon curd and think, I'll make a year of it.
Well, it seems a shame to stop now. I mean, I know the day I decide to stop, that come 10 to midnight, I'm going to panic and be racing over to the fridge for that, for the jar.
What do you have it with, Frank? Is it with...
I have it on a crisp bread.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I do. What about this? I don't put butter on.
I just
get the crisp bread and I'm just straight on with the lemon curd. Because lemon curd contains butter. Why gild the lily?
Can I make a suggestion? Why not just smear it
What is a serving suggestion?
straight onto pickled herring? You kill two birds with
You
one
and
stone.
anything picky
you
in
see
it.
that?
I was helping.
I imagine you were in China when Sweet and Sour started. If those are the sorts of suggestions you come up with, that would be horrible.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've heard from the outside world. I'd like to read this email that we've had in from Steve Hubbard. The subject line is identity fraud. I have to report to you a case of identity fraud that occurred on your show just before Christmas.
Oh, my goodness.
Like so many listeners, I always want to send something relevant in whilst the show is on and get my identity on air. That priceless 3-digit number. In my case, 463. Well, can you imagine my amazement when Emily read a story about Kate from Canterbury and then described her as 463? What the hell is going on? Who said Kate could have my digits? I can't believe she's been listening anywhere near as long as me, so can I just put the record straight and say I'm 463, Spartacus, and that's the end of it. Okay. P.S. If Emily ever wants a night out in Suffolk with the next footballer, I'm available, Steve Hubbard, and he's left his actual digits.
Steve Hubbard?
Full number.
I remember his mother, a very old woman. And when you went round their house, you never got anything to eat.
There's no lemon curd to be seen.
There's nothing in, was there?
Well, so I suppose that's the trouble with reading out the 3 digits of the number, is that some people get more than... so there's more than one person with the same number. But there's more than one person with the same name, and we seem to be coping with that in society.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Thanks.
And well made too, if I may say so.
Shall we get to email corner?
Yes.
Well, yeah, if you like.
We can sneak one in. Email corner! Loving it.
Here we are.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it like that.
Hi, Frank, DME and Alun. Funny to hear about Frank's...
DME.
Oh, Divine Miss M.
Oh, of
That's
course.
my Twitter moniker.
It's a Twitter handle. Funny to hear about Frank's witnessing of Jerry Lee Lewis assaulting a person on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember telling that story?
Yeah, a woman jumped up to kiss him, and it startled him, and he thought... He didn't actually hit her, but he was a bit rough, and then he said, I'm sorry, I thought it was my ex-wife.
I was a few feet away from the legendary Mickey Rooney when he did the very same thing.
We had a work
we saw him in Panto.
Yeah, we went to Milton Keynes to see Mickey Rooney.
I'd use the word confused, Frank.
Well, he was 84.
Yeah,
He was confused by the concept of
Or was he
panto.
94?
He kept looking at his watch. He seemed like he wanted out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that was the watch, like, with the duration of his life. The life hand.
His body clock.
Exactly. He calls it his body clock.
About 10 years ago, he was meeting a group of people after an interview when a lady reached to kiss him. He batted away her advances, muttering, "Only my wife kisses me." Much to the astonishment of us all, the lady proved to be persistent and lunged for another peck. But this time, Mickey actually slapped her face, repeating her objection. Although I sympathised with his reasons, it was still shocking to see a Hollywood giant behave like this.
Hollywood giant?
He's a Hollywood
He's about
giant.
4'11".
Is he?
Yeah.
Have I got him confused? Is he not the one that's in The Wrestler? Is that
No, that's
Mickey Rourke? Oh, I've got...
Rooney's a very different kettle of fish. Rooney's like
my
Andy
God.
Hardy. He was with Judy Garland in films
Mickey
in the
Rooney.
40s.
He's about
know,
4'9".
Is he in Skyfall?
He was in a musical in the West End. What was it called? Babes in something.
Yes.
Sugar Babes or
Babes
something.
in the Wood.
He wasn't
No,
one of Sugar Babes. I know they changed their line-up a lot,
No,
but
he
Mickey
wasn't.
Rooney was never one of them.
He was, the thing is, if he was in Sugar Babes now, he wouldn't be the least attractive one. That's what's incredible. But no, they had to do a secret understudy because he won't allow an understudy, and he discovered that this bloke was his understudy, and he confronted him in front of everyone in the green room and said, "Ed, are you my understudy?" And the guy said, "Yeah, Mick, I am." And he said, "How do you understudy a legend?" I love Mickey Rooney.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cochrane and Emily Dean. You can text us on 8 12 15 or follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute. Oh yeah, we were talking before the
Talking
news.
about Mickey Rooney, which is quite topical of us.
Yeah, Mickey. Yeah, well, he's still alive.
Is he?
Let's get the Mickey Rooney stuff in now before it becomes disrespectful. So we're on about the fact that he slapped a fan.
Yeah.
And now the famous story. Are you aware of Farron Young? He had a hit.
Remind me.
It's 4 in the morning and once more. He was a country and western great. And he used to do this thing. He used to sing, I think it was called This Little Girl of Mine, a song of his. And he used to get a little girl up out the audience and sing it with him. It's like a little cheesy bit in the show. And he got this girl up. And he claimed that she spat at him. So he put her over his knee and gave her a proper hard spanking. I mean, on stage.
Wow.
And the parents objected. And he said that she was, ill-mannered and needed to be taught a lesson.
Did you say spare the rod and spoil the child at any point?
I'll tell you a good thing about it. It reminded me that when I was a kid, if you were being naughty anywhere, the nearest adult... Are you familiar with the football tactic of zonal marking?
Oh, yeah. I know that.
You don't mark a man, you mark an area, and then whoever comes into that, you deal with it. That's what people did with kids. So adults, we were very much a united front. Or they were.
Zonal physical discipline. Also.
Yeah. So they were all in it together, the adults, against us, basically. So if we were in someone's garden and playing up, then the person who owned that garden could slap us, and the parents was fine with it.
Yeah.
And it was much because your parents, they can't be everywhere.
Don't say it was much better. Don't say it was much better.
Well, I think it was. Why?
It had moments of effectiveness, did it not?
You could certainly shout at children as well. You're allowed to shout at other people's kids.
Okay.
You're not allowed to shout at other people's kids now.
Okay, I'm not saying that hitting children is a good thing, but I'm saying that zonal marking as far as discipline is concerned.
Yes.
And with dogs as well. If you saw two dogs having the physicals in the street, someone would get a broom and someone would get a bucket of water. Didn't have to be your dog. People cared more. Anyway, a little flashback to the golden years.
In the Caribbean.
Frank, can I just say, there are a lot of fellow lemon curd enthusiasts here.
Are there?
That's not a euphemism for something
No, indeed
disgusting.
not. Oh, that's
It's
good.
disgusting, though. It's not even a euphemism. Lemon curd is disgusting, I find
Well,
it.
we're all different.
Oh,
One man's
horrible.
curd is another man's...
way.
Pleasure.
Yeah, way.
888. I've also had lemon curd every day this year, on a variety of breads and bagels, but with a layer of peanut butter underneath.
Well, I'm making a note of that. That sounds... Peanut... Yes.
You are literally making a
Yes,
mess of
I
it.
have written it down. Curd and peanut butter from 888.
Yeah.
And I don't normally approve of online gambling. But he knows his foodstuffs.
Sammy has tweeted us, what about lemon curd on a digestive? Fab.
I've never tried that.
Well, I'll
not
tell you what,
not
I
on
don't-
a chocolate digestive.
I don't mind a digestive dipped in yoghurt. Have you ever done that?
No.
It's nice.
Really?
Yeah, it's nice. The cold and the biscuitiness, it works.
The
Daisy
trouble
looks
is,
like she's going to be physically sick now.
my area of intent with yoghurt has narrowed now to I'm basically black cherry. That's it.
Really?
The others I
You're a
can't.
Muller fan, aren't you? Oh, I thought you would be.
No, I
You
like.
normally go for the German brands like Leodama.
Yeah, I would normally go for the German brand to encourage. I tend to go for a Rachel's. For the they seem to be the sort of, what do they call them, live yoghurt.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the black cherry is the best. I mean, some people, they'll still eat things like mandarin. Forget about it.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've actually had a text in that we don't normally read out praise on the show, really, because it just seems a bit...
Frank doesn't like praise.
Yeah.
Well, I like praise, but I think reading out your own praise is a bit pathetic.
But we've had a text from 084 that I think it's also our civic duty to read it out. Great show, genuinely funny. Just set up account. Does this text function work? Thanks. Yeah, that text...
It does work.
That text has
Congratulations.
come in, hasn't it? So...
Yeah.
It feels like that's our civic duty to let him know that
It's
that
lovely,
works.
when you set up an account for anything, when you get your when you send your test email or something, it comes back, you think, that's it, we're up and running.
Yeah, well,
I love that feeling.
this is the exact delight that I wanted to give this individual,
Yeah,
so I
no,
felt like we could break the rule on non-praise texts.
No, that's
We're up and running.
that's splendid.
The email.
Frank, I'd like to discuss Nick Clegg.
Okay.
I agree with Nick. That was the catchphrase.
On his policies?
It was a long time ago, wasn't it? Do you remember that thing where they did the live debates?
Oh, God, he was a star for about 4 days.
And the big
Yes!
catchphrase was they all kept saying, I agree with Nick. And now, times have changed, haven't they?
No,
Not everyone
yeah.
agrees with Nick anymore.
No.
That's showbiz love.
Yeah.
But there was, he must look back on those 4 days when he was the golden boy of British politics.
It's
Very
like when
lovely.
you're in the Big Brother house and everyone thinks you're amazing, and then you come out and you just get exponentially less interesting.
Well, I had the same thing with me dancing in my pants. For a time, people thought I was a comedy god. No. Well, carry on.
Frank?
Maybe that's why the window cleaner was so engrossed as you were making yourself.
Oh, he was
your
hoping to
sandwich.
hear some
No,
Venga
I
boys.
wasn't.
Imagine if you'd have done that, Frank. He would have heard...
Did I mention I was naked, by the way? But I'd had one of those, you know those body painting things that makes you look like you've got underwear on?
Yeah, I've got
Oh,
that on
yeah.
now. It's
Yeah.
my outfit.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. If I go to the swimming baths,
Yeah.
I'll just paint trunks on for a bit of a lark. Anyway,
So Nick Clegg
yes.
revealed this week that he is the owner...
Well, he's got a radio show, Nick Clegg.
That's right, yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
He's doing...
Yeah. Well, we only do it once a week. We'd say we've got a radio show. We're in the same business, us and Cleggo.
Yeah.
Well-
Fantastic.
He's got a onesie.
He should bring out
Apparently.
that. He should have Cleggo Land, where kids can go and do various Nick Clegg-based activities.
Like what? Like,
Well, you know, hang around with not very nice people.
Reluctantly agreeing.
yeah.
He owns a onesie though, Frank. But it's not just any old onesie, it's an Incredible Hulk onesie.
Yeah, I must admit, I wouldn't mind an Incredible... don't send me one if you're in the business, because I'll buy one. But I wouldn't mind an Incredible Hulk one.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I'd be prepared to have my hair cut into that slightly inward curving fringe to set off the whole
Yeah.
thing.
The Dr. David Banner vibe.
You know, he's got the fringe, but it looks like he's done that page boy. He's got the curlers on it a bit,
You know,
so it comes in.
you know the problem with having
it's
an
good, though.
It's a
incredible...
bit Birmingham Nana,
Because
that hair, isn't
when
it?
you have sometimes if I don't put anything on my hair, I have a fringe that curls outwards, and it'll catch snowflakes, and it'll sit in there like it would in the eaves of a house. Whereas with his inward curling one, it's all good. I
being
think you could
trapped.
probably put a not too heavy biro in there.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, those cyanide almonds have left a really bitter taste in my mouth.
That's because they're cyanide almonds.
Thanks, Sarah.
We were just saying that sometimes when you're eating nuts, you get one of those ones that, wow, like the worst taste you've ever had in your life. The
What?
killer nut. You get the soap nut as well, you know.
Oh, I know the soap nut, Frank.
It's just like eating soap.
Yeah.
What is it with nuts? Sort themselves out. Get rid of the rebels. Otherwise, you're going to
I
lose
just said
trade.
it. I'm loving some of your observational material. What is it with nuts? It's true.
What's that all about?
Yeah, nuts.
But very, very fresh nuts, you still get the nasty ones.
Frank, Nick Clegg. Now, we were talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
him in a onesie. He said, "Oh, I would wear it in the privacy of my own home."
Yeah, of course he wouldn't.
Oh, I think he would.
Do you?
I
I
think
don't
he's the type.
No. I think they always look wrong if they don't have a tie on, politicians.
You can't wear a tie and a onesie.
No.
Well, he could do.
That would look...
Incredible Hulk on his way to a wedding.
Well, that's the weird thing. An Incredible Hulk onesie, surely you'd need to buy two onesies, because you'd have to have, like, a ripped one over the top of the Hulk one, wouldn't you?
No.
No, you wouldn't have to, but you could.
No, you wouldn't. What you're suggesting a sort of Dr. Bruce Banner suit.
You want like a
and then
a onesie to rip
one underneath.
out of, yeah.
Oh, isn't it amazing as well that when the trousers never go at the waist.
It is amazing.
They're always snug at the waist,
Even
aren't
the
they?
bottom doesn't pop, and the other
Amazing.
clothes just completely disintegrate. But it seems to me that he's bulked up the Hulk, but he's still kept the nice trim snaky
He's still
waist.
snake-hipped, isn't he?
He's like when I was in Africa in the 90s. No, I was. I was in West Africa with Comic Relief, and we went to a school, and the teacher was doing a song with the kids about a lion. And I'm going to try and do this. Is it all right to do the accent? It's all right to do the accent, Daisy.
I don't know.
I'm not being at all derogatory.
Okay, let's see.
So the song goes, a lion has a tail, and the kids go, a lion has a tail, and he goes, it has a big head, and they all go, it has a big head, and he goes, and a very small waist. And I thought, that's never struck me before about a lion. You see, that's because...
Suggesting it's some sort of Kardashian-type beast.
But it has got a very small waist, hasn't
Yes.
it? They are. I feel like if I put my hands around the waist of a lion, I could possibly touch thumb and fingertips. That's how slim they are at the waist. But because we don't see lions, you see, we don't think of the details like this.
No.
But this was obviously written by an African person who saw lions on a regular basis and thought, "Phew, it's nice waist." That's what I think about the Incredible Hulk. Carry on.
Oh, I see.
So, would you boys go for a onesie? Because the one thing, if I can give you one piece of advice, it's this: do go for something a bit roomy. I hate it when men buy a onesie and it's too snug
Oh no, you don't want that.
around the sort of central reservation
Unless
area.
it's skeleton bones.
Oh yeah, that's acceptable.
I've got two. I've got camouflage and tiger.
Now, I know that
I see you in pig, Frank.
you're telling the truth at least about one of those, because I
No,
think I
both.
did your telly programme and there was a picture of you in your onesie.
Well, obviously, I got them from the TV show. Free. I got all my clothes
Obviously.
from TV. I haven't bought any clothes for ages.
No.
But, yeah. And that's what Boz, my son, has got. He's got loads. He's into onesies big time.
Oh, yeah.
God, he's onesie crazy.
Can I ask a question? When you wear your onesie, do you wear pyjamas or anything under it? What's the...
I wear
That's
pants.
so
What's the
Incredible
deal?
Hulk-like.
I wear pants under it.
Just pants?
Yeah.
Nothing else? Because
That's all it needs. Sometimes just my painted ones.
But I am a slave to belly button fluff. So I think if
you?
I wore... Oh, God. Honestly. There will be some
I
gathering there
didn't think
now.
that still existed. I haven't had that since the 70s.
That's
Really?
so 70s.
I wouldn't be... I could put my hand in now and bring it out. It'd be like a...
Do it.
It'd be like a bird's nest, probably.
You are kidding me. I might. Perhaps
I'll
you
have
could you save me some for in case I need a toupee later on? I honestly thought that had ceased to exist. I don't know why I thought what had happened to the human being and their general state. But I haven't took anything out of my navel since 1973.
Oh, there'll probably be some in there. Have a check.
No, there isn't. Honestly, I often... sometimes I'll put a bit of lemon curd in there and use it for donking. It's perfectly clean. Now,
Yeah.
Nick Clegg is doing a radio show with Nick Ferrari.
That's right, yeah.
Surely they're using Nick as a jingle.
Oh, that would be good.
If they've missed the trick, I bet that'll get back to them. They'll use it this week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it's not quite the catchphrase.
I wonder if Nick Ferrari's got a onesie.
He's
Putting it out there. Just asking the question.
I don't think he has.
Do you think not?
No, I think he sits at home in a nylon shirt and tracksuit bottoms. But
He likes a loose waistband, though.
I must say they're very hot onesies. They're a lot hotter than you because they're acrylic. Anyway, on the subject of politics, I heard a short extract from a speech by Ed Miliband. I guess it was last week, and he said, "I've learnt something, and I've learnt it from the greatest teacher of all, the British people."
Oh.
And I thought, now the trouble is now, Ed, I won't be able to vote for you in the next election. I've voted Labour my whole life, but I can't vote for someone who says, I've learnt that from the greatest teacher of all, the British people. Because, A, you don't mean that for 1 second, and B, you're patronising me as a member of the British people. and I'm a member of the British People. Do you remember we had YMCJ, which was a less big hit than the Village People, YMCA. But I think it's the worst thing I've ever heard said in the public domain.
Is it also not a bit grammatically questionable? The greatest teacher of all, the British people.
Well, has a voice, you see, has a single voice.
But they're a plural. Surely you should say the
but they have
greatest
a
teachers
single
of
The
all.
greatest teacher of all. It's all gone a bit Whitney Houston song.
Yeah, a lot of them haven't had any teacher training.
Yeah.
They're not, even if they have, they're not up on the modern methods.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've been CRB checked.
Well, exactly.
Some of them wouldn't pass that
He's
from the papers.
I can't. It's a terror. I don't know what to do with myself now.
There's always UKIP.
Yeah, there is.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I love a bit of celebrity embarrassment, as you well know.
It's my life.
So, the thing I loved most this week was a show called Splash, which was all about celebrity embarrassment. Did you see, either of you?
Well, you see, I did. I got the wrong end of the stick with Splash, because I just caught the last 20 minutes, and I saw Omid Jalili drop from an enormously high diving board, and
10 metre.
I thought this is taken celebrity shows to a whole new level, and it's quite a brave thing to do. And it's much more interesting than watching professionals do it.
Yeah.
Because when professionals dive, they all look pretty much the same. There might be a slight little bit of deviation. But I mean, he looked like a bloke falling out of a flat. He just span through the air and landed with an enormous
He went for this sort
splash.
of Victorian strongman costume as well, not the
did he?
trunks, not the Tom Daley trunks.
But I mean, it was very courageous and very exciting, I thought. But
I loved the show, I
I'm
have
told
to say.
some people just sort of jumped off those
Helen
steps that you're climbing.
Lederer had a crash mat, which Tom Daley was holding, which deposited her into the pool. But she did it properly.
You poured her into the pool?
Yeah,
basically?
using a crash mat. But
See, I missed that bit. That didn't sound quite so breathtaking.
she had a sort of bathing bell costume.
She's had a difficult week because that artist accidentally painted her instead of the Duchess of Cambridge, and it's in that big mix-up identity mix-up thing. Oh, so she was tipped into the pool from a crash
For the
mat.
night, she decided she was brave and she went without the crash mat.
Oh,
She
no,
had an
that's-
unusual style, though.
That sounds like illegal tipping. In the old days when Cockneys used to just put stuff in the canal.
One of the things
Yeah.
that annoys me most in the countryside is Helen Lederer tipping. They
It
just,
should be stopped.
yeah.
They had...
I must say I've got a soft spot for Helen Lederer.
Yeah,
Do
she
you?
seems nice.
Well, I read... no, I'm in a terrible dilemma now because there's a Doctor Who feature on the telly and
I
I
know,
can't
you're
watch
watching
it 'cause
it.
I'm working.
Oh.
Well, it's William Hartnell on at the
My
moment.
favourite.
Is he?
Focus.
You always remember your first. Yeah,
Peter
so
Davidson.
I'm trying to keep focused. Yeah, so she wrote a lovely thing in the Daily Mail about that thing and was very, very humble and
About her
nice.
splash
About her
about her
experience,
splash
yeah.
I'll tell you what,
experience.
she was very humble, because she said that one of the reasons she was wearing that particular outfit was to cover up her curves from the Christmas carver. And I was thinking, carver? Surely, you could have had a bottle of champers at Christmas, couldn't you? She's perhaps more frugal than me.
Well, I thought you meant like a carvery. Have I got it wrong? I thought when she'd gone up for the fourth time, she thought maybe I'll go for the bigger swimming outfit. No, she just sounded very sweet. So I mean, I didn't. I'm going to, I think, now look up the crash mat.
I think you might need to see it.
I think being tipped into the pool wasn't at all. There isn't enough of that in the Olympics, is there? People being tipped in. People who got nothing to do with the Olympics at all, just passing, and they get tipped in. But I think we better get our music and then come back to this baby.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Frank, I'll be watching Splash again tonight. I think it's on tonight.
I can't. I don't know if I'll be back in time because I'm going to a Doctor Who screening of the first ever story, An Unearthly Child, at the British Film Institute
Lovely.
with special guests. Who knows who that could be?
Well,
Sylvester McCoy's getting around a lot.
Well, I'd be very happy to see Sylvester McCoy then. That'd be exciting. Anyway, nevertheless, I was watching over Christmas Celebrity Mastermind, and I've also been
I love
watching
that.
the odd Pointless Celebrities, as they call it.
Yeah.
which is the pointless. Why is it that celebrity programmes have to be, the questions have to be a lot easier? Seems to be a suggestion that celebrities are not as bright as the
As
standard
civilians.
member of the public.
Is that because...
Yes, I would agree with you.
Mastermind, some of the... I mean, it's like, you know, when you play darts and there's like a 11-year-old and you let them stand a bit closer to the board. That's how
Yeah.
celebrities are. They're treated like glittering
Is it
fools.
like when they do texting questions on Daybreak and they say, what is the capital of France? Is it A, Paris, B, cabbage?
No, it's not just to make loads and loads of money. That's
Is
just...
it that?
No, but they're always like £8 to text
Yes,
in, and
this
that's
is
why.
true.
So that's all. No, it is definitely based on the belief that celebrities are not so bright, and I find that
largely true.
no, I don't really know that many.
So
I mean,
I wonder
c-
if it's largely true. I would exclude you from that because you've got a big old brain, haven't you, in a lot of areas of interest.
You've got what I'd call a hinterland.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're getting at, innit? Really? I mean, you'd love to go on there and just wipe the floor on the proper one.
No, I'm thinking now. If I'm going to go on, I'm just going to join in. I'm going to do the Queen's Christmas message.
Right.
Because people do really small things.
Yeah,
People
that'd
do
be
like
easy,
Wind in
wouldn't
the
it?
Willows and The Great Gatsby.
Who did Friends season 1 and 2?
The questions
Really?
would be...
Yes, someone did.
The questions would be, who hosted the Queen's Christmas message? What season?
A, the Queen, B, cabbage.
Yeah, what season was the message delivered at? If there was a king, what would the Queen's Christmas message be called? That's the sort of level we're working at.
Oh,
It's-
someone's texted in with the answers. No, I'm on the...
Frank, Stephen K. Amos did 5-star. I'm just putting that out there.
Did
It's
they?
5-star.
That was his special subject on Mastermind.
And Myling Class was Sex and the City Series 2. I mean, can that be right? Anyway, that's this week's texting. Are celebrities stupid?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Hi, I'm Frank Skinner. I'm on Absolute Radio. I'm with a couple of friends of mine, Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute.
We've actually received a text on 8/12/15 about something that we're talking about in the last hour. You know, we were talking about when celebrities are on celeb quizzes.
Frank thinks the questions are a bit silly.
Well,
bit silly Billy.
Sometimes they get easier. Someone has texted in, 851 has texted in, I would say that the questions are a bit easier because that enables them to raise more money for the charities. Hadn't thought of that. Had you thought of that?
I hadn't thought of that, but why not just give the money to charity and not waste us with the whole squalid pantomime?
You need an element of jeopardy in
Good
there.
point. I agree, yeah.
Yeah,
Humiliation
exactly.
is fun, isn't it?
I think you want the people from the charity sitting on the edge of their seats when you start gambling recklessly.
Thanks for pointing that out, 851, but you do strike me as a little bit neighbourhood watch. I'm just saying that.
Well, I think it's a good point, and
Okay.
I thank 851 from the bottom of my heart. Which is just...
Oh my
you
God,
know,
it's all gone a bit FaceTime.
you know that...
What's going on?
I'm on about that fatty bit underneath the left ventricle.
Yes, I'm aware of it. What?
Yeah.
Frank,
I like to itemise my offal.
could we pop over to Email Corner?
Yeah, do you want the jingle?
Yeah, I would like it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Be sure and join in now. Email
I cleared my throat instead of joining in. That was a
that's
mistake.
I like
not
that.
so-
Bad timing.
It has some of the boho ambience of Jeff Lloyd's show, I feel. Frank, I'll kick off with what I'm going to call email 2. Hi, Frank, Alan and Emily. When I was 8, my mother gave me the gift of £5 coins. This is bad presents, I should say.
5 £1 coins.
5 £1 coins sellotaped to a box of 12 Bovril cubes. And could not understand why I wasn't happy. This is the same woman who, finding out my childhood desire to be a ninja, sent me to a ballet class.
Close. Can I say that I used to
That's
eat...
from Andy.
I used to eat Bovril cubes.
Yes, I used to eat OXO cubes,
Oh.
Frank. Why did we do
I
that?
don't know, they were lovely and
Weren't they
salty.
lovely?
Oh, they were salty.
Wrapping the silver foil?
I'm
I'd
actually,
save
my
it.
mouth is actually physically
Yes.
watering.
I get
Frank,
that when I say
would you
lime pickle.
sometimes eat half of it and then reseal it in the silver foil and keep it for later? That was lovely.
Couldn't do that without Keith around. He was like a pig after truffles with a Bovril square. They were lovely because the spit sort of in your mouth made Bovril.
It
You know
was
what I mean?
lovely.
You made sort of me Bovril cocktail with my own saliva.
And we got texts saying that I had upset people and put them off their breakfast when I was talking about my belly button fluff and how I'm a slave
No, but that's
to
a
it.
different world altogether. I think it's there's something lovely about. I don't know if people still eat them.
Oh,
Well, I'm 100% with you, Frank. I loved an OXO.
well, the thing I like about this
And
chap's
also, the
email
12 you could have. It's like what if it's a Christmas present? You have one. You can open one every day for the 12 days of Christmas, like Advent Bovril.
I don't. I'll tell you what I don't like. He says
here we go.
could not understand why I wasn't happy, so he displayed his unhappiness when receiving a gift. He did the, is this what you've got?
No,
£5 coins attached to 12 Bovril cubes. He
covered everything.
Could have
He
put
was
that
only
money
8,
in.
to be fair. He was only 12 months past age of reason.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Surely he could have put that money in stocks, couldn't he?
Oh,
There we go. I knew I'd get there in the end.
You had
I
the
knew.
little
I knew.
ramp up.
I knew you
Little
were.
evil Knievel ramp up.
Oh, character you.
And
are.
who didn't want to be a ninja? Who didn't want to be a ninja when they were a kid? What a great thing to want to be.
This wasn't. Is this the guy who wanted a flamethrower for Christmas?
Yes.
Yes, he said, in all fairness, for that particular Christmas, I had asked for a flamethrower.
I must admit, I used to dream of a flamethrower. It was one of my dream
It's
things
not
to
a
have.
classic ninja weapon, though, is it? Like,
No.
Throwing star, you can see
I
it.
really
but
like the
flamethrower-
idea of one, a backpack flamethrower. I had I'm not talking about taking out a Viet Cong village. I'm talking about just on waste ground to see how far you could send the flames. But I did have a go with a high power hose, and it was a very similar experience. That is brilliant. Man, you can feel the power going through that robber.
They're on the news.
What a
lot
night that
at the
was.
moment.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I believe we're still in email corner, so I will continue that. Frank, Lovely, Em and Al. As a podcast listener, here's my late contribution. Now, this is in the terms of that before Christmas we were discussing strange gifts that we'd received, so
Yes.
when he says late contribution. This is not a mother-in-law joke, but my MIL is legendary in the gift department. From the local Army and Navy store. I love an Army and Navy store.
I've been in one of those for ages.
Oh, I hope they don't go. I hope they don't die out in the new high street that we're getting through recession, because where else are we going to get a gas mask or a flamethrower?
The thing is,
or-
there's not. I don't think there's as much spare military equipment around as there used to be. I think
using it all
they're
now.
actually going to shops in Afghanistan and trying to buy sort of camouflage onesies because they don't have enough equipment. Bit of politics.
Well, this chap,
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was satirical in the extreme.
this chap was given 2 high-vis parachute landing markers about 3 metres long. He says, I've never jumped out a plane nor intend to. Prior to that, I had some clothes softener and 3 used shuttlecocks. My
I have
wife...
to say, those markers, if you're getting up in the night, you could lay them between your bed and the ensuite.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, you know where you're going.
Like a little strip light. Or
You know, if you're
not.
a bit, wake up a bit drowsy.
Yeah.
Be glad at that.
I've never jumped out. My wife, her own daughter, got a wine cork engraved with the letter C. Her name is Sally.
Oh.
That'll be C for cork.
Yes, I think you're right, Frank.
That'll be part of a home literacy kit.
Yeah, she
She'll
hopes.
probably get the other letters over the next 25 years.
Father-in-law isn't any better. One year buying all male family members from son to distant cousins a copy of the 99p classics such as Great Expectations.
That's good. That's a
I
good
think that's
Yeah,
a great
that's
gift.
I'll be
okay.
happy with that.
Judgy not.
Yeah, teach the masses for 99 pence, and all female members from only daughter to distant nieces a pen. The profits at the local petrol station
There's
boomed
profits
that
at the
year.
local petrol station.
I doubt it.
Very
Probably most of
religious
the-
area.
Most of the profit would have been in fuel, wouldn't
I
it?
like the sound of his view of gender, though. He sees the women as the active members,
Yes, they need the pen.
writing. Where
Men
the
sit about reading.
Where the women
Yeah.
actually produce the material.
Sounds like a good world to me.
Sounds
it's a
great.
shame they got divorced. They were made for each other.
Oh, God.
Great show.
I mean, it's a sort of light-hearted radio show now. It's It's gone right down to...
He says, great show. Night's move to you all if you ever find yourselves in Toulouse with nowhere to go.
I've been in Toulouse on... I went out
Oh,
with
I love it.
I went out with someone who lived in Toulouse. And
Were you at
Did you?
Toulouse End?
we
At Toulouse End.
absolutely...
Toulouse End.
Extraordinary.
It's a bit forced, but there's something in it, isn't there?
Yeah, let me see now. Yeah, I went on a long walk round there, a sort of a Toulouse-Lautrec.
Oh.
But we're all right, because we shared a flat, but we had two loos.
Very good.
This will never end.
You
No,
could do
I
one,
just-
you've nothing to
Feels
lose.
like it'll... Oh, I'm going to cry.
I'm gonna leave it there, because I like that one. You know what happened now is the listeners will send in 5 million. You count on that.
5 million? That'd be good.
I'm exaggerating.
A bit.
I've become a bit of a Toulouse canon.
Oh, God.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, I've been reading about the best job in the world.
Okay.
Now, you may consider that to be, for example, presenting a fashion show with Gok Kwan called Would You Wear This? I believe was a TV format idea you once had.
I think this is the best job in the world. What about that? What about that?
But apparently the best job in the world is being paid to be a water slide tester.
Oh, that.
Did you read about that?
I did, yes.
You travel around the world testing them at various holiday
Europe,
parks.
I think.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, it was Europe, wasn't it, principally?
You
Was
don't-
it just
you-
Europe?
you
I
don't-
thought you were
you-
just expressing a keenness for the band.
No, you don't want to be testing the flumes worldwide. I think you'll find that there's a lot of legionnaires
Oh, yeah.
knocking around in the spray. That's how it travels, isn't it? By spray.
It is by water spray.
Yeah, you can imagine you'd be dicing with it. If they'd let me go with one of those, what they're called, prolopopylene anti-infection suits, if they'd let me do it in that, but I think that might distress the holiday makers.
Yeah, I'd worry about
This is
that.
a man going down. Do you have to go down the...
The shoots.
do you have to go down in like a suit with a clipboard and spectacles on?
He did
Look
have a
like
clipboard in the picture in the article, the fella.
I mean, that would,
Big boots on.
yeah, with your normal, with a proper smart suit on and a tie. That'd
Well,
be
I
great.
wondered if because he's going around the year, it's a whole year of going on water slides. Does he?
You say, you say he.
Oh,
Well, exactly.
I think the days of advertising a job like that might well be behind us, if you don't mind me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the person who did it last was a he, wasn't it?
Could be
So that
anyone.
was,
Could be Helen Nedra if she's got the crash mat.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well, I suppose that is a sort of a crash
Yes.
mat,
But
a
is the,
water slide.
Is the park that they're visiting at the time that they're doing their slide, is it open? Because it sounds like a dream job, but then when you factor in the queuing, that would
You
be...
wouldn't have to queue if you was there in an official capacity,
You
surely
think,
not.
You think he's allowed to leapfrog the queue?
No, yes, I should think. It'd be like when Elvis used to hire a fairground and just take a few close friends.
Oh, would it?
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
Do you think
don't
he
wanna
has?
go-
Do you
you don't
think he
wanna
has
go on a date
groupies? The slide man. Oh, I'd love-
Rupees?
Groupies.
Oh.
Groupies.
Yeah, well, I hope so. That would be lovely. I also think I have a sense that you could pick up illnesses from being in water slides that often.
Well, his statistical likelihood of getting a verruca's gone through the roof immediately.
I mean, I'd be happy with a verruca. I mean, I'm in about all sorts of bacteria
All
dwelling
sorts. Oh,
there. I mean, you're
dirty
sitting there.
old dads in
You're
that
going,
pool.
you know, you're going down on your behind.
Uh-huh.
I have
think
to say,
some
Frank,
people go on their belly. Obviously, not.
I think anyone
The
that does
cockerel
it.
can't go down on his belly as he gets all tangled up.
Well, this is true. I don't like slides on terra firma. They're one of my worst fears.
Oh, really?
Slides.
I've always had an incident of some sort. I tend to not make it down to the bottom. I don't know if
Oh.
it's Kardashian issues, but I can't get purchase. I can't gain momentum properly.
Yeah, and the big kids spit on him as well.
I don't like the legs flailing around. It's so undignified.
I,
Grown adult.
I
on a
used to-
slide.
when
What
I
about
used-
those spare tyres that people go down
How
on?
dare you?
When I used to drive to West Brom games from Birmingham, I think was it be from Birmingham? Actually, it might have been from London.
Yeah, that's
And,
where you're from, darling.
Yeah, I didn't drive to games in Birmingham. When I was first moved to London, I used to pass on the motorway. There was a sign for a place called Billing Aquadrome. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It was sort of near Northamptonish, I think. And every time I passed it, if I didn't feel I was happy in whatever relationship I was in, I would sing Billing, Billing, Aquadrome. And I did that every time I passed it until I met someone and felt happy and in love. And then when that relationship started to go a bit wrong, there'd be that point where as I got near it, I thought I have to decide now whether I feel this relationship is going well or not.
Oh, no.
And sometimes at the very last minute I'd go, billing, Aquadrome, thus establishing that there was trouble at home.
Strangest thing I've ever heard.
Is it?
You are a creature of habit, aren't
So
you?
the text in is, what are your psychological-based billing Aquadrome songs?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We were talking about the best job in the world.
The so-called, this person that goes and tests out slides.
Well, not in my book. Best job in the world is Vince Cable's intern. Best job in the world. Totes, amazeballs. I'd do that.
I mean, I'm not a massive roller coaster fan or anything like that, but I am partial to a water slide. I think they're okay. But
Yeah, but would you want to do it day in, day out?
No. For a start, the queuing, and I think
I think they'd be chafing.
I
there'd
do.
be chafing, but thankfully, you know, some of them, they give you those little mats that you can go down, almost like
yeah.
a welcome mat.
Yeah, Helen Lederer.
If I go down on my belly, my belly button fluff just forms a natural
Matt?
natural slide mat. But the person has to give them advice on making the slides better. How long's that going to last? You know, keep it clean, make it slippier. That's it, innit?
Well, I don't know, you might want...
Is there anything more to say?
You might say not enough left turns, too many right.
Not enough left turns.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not... You know, I've only just learned to swim. I haven't really done a water slide.
Yeah.
People always talk about these jobs, like the dream jobs. There's one where you have to look after some island or something. Do you remember that?
Right, yeah.
The
Oh,
beautiful-
yeah. Yes.
Why are they dream jobs? Because you get to wear your trunks.
Yeah, but in this case, you wear trunks and a high-vis jacket, I expect. Frank, we've had an email in with the subject line, billing Aquadrome.
Ah. Does
So
it still exist?
Only good can come of this. This is from Alun. He says, hi, I used to go there in the 70s, outskirts of Northampton,
Oh, okay.
Old Quarry. Bought a little boat there, skidded on the grass there in my Triumph Spitfire and ended up in the quarry with the boat resting on the roof and the car hanging on by its rear axle. Strange tyre tracks left into the lake. Only just got out. Great place. There you go.
Well, it's a perfect symbol for a failing relationship.
Isn't it?
A car trapped under a boat. The thing is, if you just see the boat on there and think, well, everything's fine. Not know that the car's operating as some sort of rudder. I'm glad. Does it still exist? That's what I'd like to know.
I don't know. Text in on
What
81215 if billing Aquadrome still exists.
What is an aquadrome?
You're looking at me searchingly. I don't know, Frank.
8, 12, 15.
Out of everyone in this room, I'm least likely to know what an
It sounds
aquadrome
like
is.
some sort of water-based racing. If a hippodrome is horse racing. Yeah.
Yes.
A velodrome is cycle racing. An aquadrome must be water racing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Somebody's actually emailed a question, I think based on your saying that there was a general dumbing down in celeb quizzes, and sounds like a headline, doesn't it? Celeb quizzed. There's somebody's texted, emailed rather, 70s wrestlers. Hi Frank, what was the name of the masked wrestler from the world of sport?
Yes.
And for a Brucey bonus, what was his manager's name?
Well, his name was Kendo Nagasaki.
Oh, Frank.
I have a feeling that his manager might have been Gorgeous George.
Oh, well,
But Kendo Nagasaki
he's
was...
not put the answer. But
He was painted by Sir Peter Blake, you know, the guy who
That's
painted
right.
the Sgt. Pepper's.
big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when Kendo was unmasked.
Was it like the Stig being on Mars?
Well, it was weird because he had, like, white eyes with no pupils in them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that. But it was a talking point at St Hubert's school on Monday morning, let me tell you that.
He put it back on.
We didn't have a water cooler.
you had a Panda Cola cooler.
We had free milk in those days, of course.
Yes, weren't they?
Yeah, think on that, Nick Clegg.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had quite a lot of texts about billing Aquadrome, possibly,
yes.
predictably, possibly not.
Is it still operational?
Well, a lot of them are saying, yes, billing Aquadrome's still there, but they're not saying what it is. But
Yeah,
with
Dave the Hot Rod fan says it's very much operational.
Is he? And Yeah, we've had an explanation of what it is. Hi, Frank, Emily and Cockaliki. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I like it.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I like it.
I mean, the joy of the surname Cochrane is that it lends itself very well to many variations, doesn't it?
Yes.
An aquadrome is a lake environment where peeps may sail, fish, water ski, look at waterfowl, admire the aquatic scenery and the like. A fun day out for all the family.
Oh, no racing.
There is an especially good one in Rickmansworth. Ahoy, hoy.
But, I don't feel Rickmansworth Aquadrome is pertinent to my relationships and the state of.
Well,
I'm still reeling from Cockaliki.
There's a good joke from 990 who's saying, if the Billing Aquadrome is in Northampton, where is the free one? Did you see what he's done? Billing Aquadrome, free one. Very good. Like it. And lots of people just saying it's still there, it's still there. Yes, it's still there.
It has been quite a significant thing in my life, though, as far as judging my heart, the state of my heart.
Well, someone's saying, yes, Billing Aquadrome's still there. I pass it when I go racing at Bradfield. Very good Chinese eatery there, by the way.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
That's the sort of added value I respond to.
Yeah. I like the word eatery as well.
Yes, I do.
So, we must at some point this morning talk about one of the biggest stories of the week is this list of house rules that the landlord...
Got a bit nervous.
All right. Yeah, you think it's celeb quizzed?
Oh no, I saw the landlord story.
The landlord from hell.
Well, we should explain, shouldn't we, that a young woman, I think, what is she, an actress?
She's an actress, but let's not lie, she's become more famous for having viewed a flat and then put these house rules on Twitter.
So
if only my mother had done that back in the 60s.
Her potential, you can say that about so many things. Potentially, she was going to move into this place, so her landlord gave her a typed list.
Yeah, I think what happened was she viewed the place and then right at the end of viewing it and thinking the guy was normal and not crazy and weird, he gave her this list and said, oh, these are the house rules, read those, you have to abide by them, and they're ridiculous.
They include things like showers cannot last longer than 15 minminutes.
Hold on a minute, though, because I read this in...
Oh, here we go.
Who would spend more than 15 minutes in a shower?
Everyone.
No. No way, unless you're in the fetal position in one corner sobbing, which I will accept. But get in, wash, rinse, get out.
Oh, you're going to do your prison scrub in that time?
Look,
you spent 15 minutes on one foot, Frank.
Sandy Mason, my mother-in-law, she has a thing on her shower, which it runs for, I think, 8 minutes, and it cuts out.
Oh, that's
right.
Nice.
And I've never hit the 8. Never.
31 house rules.
Yeah, every one perfectly reasonable.
What, dishes left in the sink will result in a charge of £15 being added to your rent?
Yes, it's a shared house. Don't leave dishes in the sink. I've lived with people like that. He says at the end of it, and I quote, rules are here for a reason, so everyone lives without problems. That's lovely. And that's true of rules generally. This actress,
that's Eastern European dictator.
I bet you she's the sort of woman who thinks it's all right to use a smartphone in a pub quiz. And that is what has brought this nation to its knees.
OK, well, let's assume that you agree with all the rules. I have question marks about the ordering of the rules. I think he's typed this once, not read it back, and just sent it. Like, he's printed it off and gone, OK. Because you've got rule number 30, no drugs or illegal stuff in the house.
Well, I'm out.
If so, deposit will be lost and you need to vacate premises. That's number 30.
Yeah.
Number 1, no pork ever in the house or fridge. Now, if you're worried about the law, why are you so worried about the first rule?
I think you'll find, surely, that is a religious law, that this man is either a Muslim or a Jew.
I don't think that is the case.
I'm sure it is. It's not like a random thing. He's not like saying no Rivita or Germaline.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No, I think that's fair. So to him, what he's saying is the laws of God mean more to him than the laws of the land. How rare is that now?
No cooking longer than 15 minutes. What if you're doing a 2-hour crock pot?
Yeah.
You could be all roast dinner.
See, I couldn't live there because I love a stew.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. You put the saucepan on, you have a shower, you get back dinner.
11-minute shower.
I could live happily in this man's house. This
is you, basically. I think this is you.
This is the modern world versus the old world. That's what this is about. Oh no, man, there's like rules, and we have to we have to wash up. I've got a casting. Oh, have you? Well, why don't you live with your parents?
Well, imagine how many ukuleles you would get through if you didn't abide by Rule 17. Do not leave personal belongings in communal areas. All belongings must be kept in rooms, otherwise it will get thrown out, as I will take it as junk.
Well, I would keep it in my room. That's
just
fair
abide
enough.
by it.
I'd say
23. Every week, £5 will go towards communal toiletries and toilet roll. As how I feel. I mean, £5 a week in
Beautiful.
toilet roll.
Beautiful.
That's
£5?
how I feel.
What's he getting? The quilted stuff?
I hope so.
He could
I won't
save a bit of money there.
settle for Izel at £5 a week. Too shiny. Okay, it's all right for tracing. But aside from that, look, we must move on. Can I just say, if ever I need a flat, I'm phoning this man. I'm off to just think. An afternoon of Doctor Who nostalgia. How wondrous. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Thank you so much for listening. We love you all. Goodbye.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.